Yo, 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 yo. Big Kiss back up in here. Drake just slipped up again. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. Hey, I see you creeping up on that 100K, boy. I see you. Salute, man. For real. I'm going to leave a link in the description. We about to check out how he break this down, man. He said Drake slipping. Y'all see it. Y'all not going to want to click off this video. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Now, when it comes to Drake, he just made a mistake so bad that if what comes out is true, everything is going to be fully over for not just his career, but his entire reputation as currently. Right as Drake is scrambling and trying to do literally everything he can to try and shift the narrative around him and overall just make himself look like this victim of the industry and that he and everything he stands for has been wrong, in the midst of what feels like a forced press tour from everyone connected with Drake that you can possibly think of. Right as Drake has all of his guys from AK to OVO members running around.
Hey, yo, the Ville been cooking too. We got to go back and do our research on that 4 a.m. in Calabasas. I just got a comment saying something about SWV at the end, and then a Heart Part 6 with Kendrick Lamar. It's some stuff up in that 4 a.m. in Calabasas. This is my first time hearing 4 a.m. in Cal. I never heard it. It's some time-stamped joints that I heard before that I rock with. I like them joints, but I never heard 4 a.m. in Calabasas. We got to go back and do our research on 4 a.m. in Calabasas. We got to go. It's some stuff up in there, y'all. There's some stuff up in there.
Around and trying to gain support back for him. With what now multiple people who are closer to Drake than anybody else have said about what they are doing and what he has done. Kendrick Lamar must be laughing right now because Drake and the clowns around him are revealing some genuinely horrible things that are ultimately going to ruin everything for Drake. And now before we go any further into all of this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and really, as no matter how Drake and OVO try to cover this up, hip-hop needs to know what's going on. Really be sure to leave that like and subscribe. And so now with that said, when it comes to Drake, I don't know how he's gonna get himself out of this one, because it seems like every single time him and OVO try to take over things once again.
Y'all make sure y'all please subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Please.
And try and build these narratives where they just rewrite the events of the beef that we have all seen and try to make Kendrick Lamar look like the bad guy and them look like the heroes, they end up showing that Kendrick was more than right, as they are really more weird than you could have ever expected. And anybody who is even affiliated with these guys has shown that they have some serious problems, and now in the worst way possible, and now for the second time, there has been legitimate and credible comments about some of the off-putting stuff that Drake is doing behind the scenes from not just anybody in the industry, and somebody who OVO could say is against them and trying to ruin them, but once again, and with one of the biggest mistakes he has ever made from Drake's biggest cheerleader in DJ Akademiks. As with what
Ak was trying to reel Vlad in. Like, yo, help me patch him up a little bit. Help me patch him up. I'm going to throw something out there, and I just want you to go along with me. I'm going to throw a little idea out there. Vlad was like, nope. He's not with us no more.
Big Ak just did. He just slipped up so bad, and I am sure for Drake, despite how close these two are and how they can't be separated anymore because they just know way too much about each other, Drake must be regretting how close he has let this guy be to all of OVO, because in an interview that DJ Akademiks had with DJ Vlad, as Ak has become so synonymous with Drake because of their official connections that of course Vlad was speaking about him, while rambling about hip-hop's losing crew, Vlad and Ak ended up slipping up bad, and once again, exposing that the industry and even people in Drake's own circle know that something very off is going on at the least. And we know this because when Ak was trying to say that Drake is such a good person because he has not been accused of anything, which really just feels like the bare minimum of how we can judge somebody's character, especially when you know the stories of how Drake may have covered some things up, which Kendrick Lamar did even rap about on Euphoria. Vlad kind of disagreed with that and said he is not going to be surprised when things start to come out about them soon, because when Drake and OVO went out to the Hidden Hills, Vlad said that he has heard the stories of some things that have went on there, and to say the very least, they would get Drake and his friends in a lot of trouble. And while Ak tried to defend Drake and make him look good, Vlad just kept on going, and as he just kept on speaking with more and more validity. And really, with Vlad, no matter how you feel about the guy, he does usually know what's going on, whether that's for better or for worse. Ultimately, Akademiks.
Oh, Vlad know what's going on. He's well connected with lawyers, judges, cops, all that.
Ended and shifted the conversation by saying that Drake probably has made agreements to get these people to stop talking and never reveal what went on in moments like these. And I mean, with this, come on, if your biggest cheerleader is literally accepting that these stories are a reality, and in the past, let's also remember that when Drake and LeBron were beefing and Ak jumped in that back and forth, he accidentally revealed that Drake was setting up some very strange meetings to go down at his own place, which again, we'll just keep it there and not go any further into that, but you can see everything you need to know just by Drake's biggest cheerleaders saying that. I mean, beyond even giving this a lot more thought and just looking at what Ak has actually.
Yeah, you used to go on 2-mans with Drake. So that's letting you know Drake's business is out there. Y'all remember when he said he used to go on 2-mans with Drake? Yeah. So now all of a sudden it's not far-fetched that he be paying these people off and all of that. You know what's going on.
Said. No matter how you want to frame this, he has made it clear that at the very least, Drake is not this squeaky clean guy that he wants everyone to think he now is because of what Not Like Us has said and made more public than it ever was. And again, with Ak of all people saying this stuff himself. I don't even know how OVO and Drake can try to sit here and defend all of this, because if the guy who we know has direct conversations with Drake and what narratives to push out about other people is letting stuff out like this, what else could be really going on that we don't know? And now for Drake, really when it comes to being around some of the biggest losers you possibly could be with. Even worse than Ak and just making everything both look more confusing and ultimately terrible for Drake's entire image. None other than arguably Drake's closest friend and one of the top names in OVO with Baka Not Nice is now doing interviews and again is back outside, I guess to try and help Drake and the label after all the losing they have been doing. And didn't
Yo, I heard him in that interview. I was like, bro, you do not look like how you sound, bro. You should have kept it quiet. You should have not ran your mouth. You sound like you don't even, that don't fit. Your voice don't fit your face, boy. For real, you should have been quiet. Now we got to start calling you Baka Nice. You nice. Nah. You was not no mean guy. You would have been better off staying quiet.
Effort to try and make themselves both look like victims to Kendrick Lamar, but also like a label who was only building from here. Baka spoke about the beef Not Like Us and his role in it, and with what Baka ultimately said about everything that went down, he really made everybody on Drake's side look worse, as he gave one of the worst deflections we have ever seen. And really, it almost seemed like an admission of guilt with how much he embarrassed himself, because when being asked about the beef and his reaction to Kendrick Lamar not just dissing Drake, but himself with the now iconic line, "Baka got a weird case, why is he around?" Baka straight up said, first off, that he was actually going to respond and diss Kendrick back himself, but Drake stopped him.
Yeah, Baka was trying to be on it. Drake was like, no, he's too dangerous. Trust me, I worked with him before. I know that. Don't.
Which, I mean, I don't even know why you'd say this, because I don't think anybody in the history of music or anything was ever scared of getting dissed by Baka Not Nice, but now after Baka said this, he really got in his feelings over Not Like Us, as when addressing the track and what Kendrick Lamar rapped about him specifically, he said, "You can't just call out a man without having paperwork to back up your talk, it's ludicrous." And after Baka saying how baffled he was by seeing how many people celebrated this song, he must have remembered the script Drake and OVO gave him, as he said, that Drake reached out to him and told him about the effectiveness of the entire track, that if you go back and look at all these people saying things, they are not even actual people, they're bots. And I mean with all of this. And if you actually listen to Baka's...
Hey, yo, he tried to give Baka some comfort. He was rubbing Baka on his head. No, those are bots. That's not, no. Those comments, the people in the comments said, no, that's us. No, that's all of us. That's us. Yeah, that is us, Baka. That's us doing that. Drake tried to tell him it's bots. No, sir. That's me. That's y'all. That's us. That's us, B. Word is bond, boy.
speak. He is breaking up and falling on his own words when he is being accused of some big things and brushing them off and using this idea of having paperwork to try and say he is good. I mean, for Baka, you can't just mumble your way out of this, because both by the fact of what he is saying and also just knowing how close Drake has stayed to this guy, it is clearly complacent in whatever he is doing. We can see more than ever how hypocritical all of OVO is, but even worse than that, how they don't see issues and problems with the same thing the rest of us do, because while Baka is trying to act like Kendrick made up all of these claims about him out of nowhere, I mean, there is real paperwork that was made by real people about Baka, and there has been a ton of awful things that he has been involved with for doing stuff that most people would just never even consider thinking about or putting themselves in situations to even be associated with him. And I mean, this is not even stuff that's hidden, but if you just look around at some basic things, you will clearly see what Baka has done, and you will be surprised and shocked.
Yo, he got fruit roll-up textured pants on, man. Leathered pants. It's like 90 degrees outside.
By it. Because really, in this time where Drake fans are trying to call out people who are loosely affiliated with Kendrick Lamar and try to call him a hypocrite for associating with them, you can't find anybody near Kendrick who is more awful and terrible of a person as Baka. And again, with Drake standing next to the guy, this tells you everything we need to know. And so bringing all of this full circle and seeing where OVO and Drake are currently at, I mean, it's baffling how in this time where everything going on for Drake has never been more important in terms of the fact that he wants to save his career and image.
I'm gonna tell you why Drake was like, nah, Baka, don't mess around with it, because he knew Baka was gonna need some of them ghostwriters. Drake needed all them ghostwriters for himself. She was like, nah, don't mess with it. Your pen is not up there like that. Your pen is not up there. This dude is a menace when it come down to that pen and that pad. Just let me do it. I'm going to lose for both of us. That's what happened. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Fantastic Hip Hop cooking up this story, man. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.